Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, today's a pretty easy one, at least on what to talk about and what's going on, but huge, very potentially, it could be a big deal. And as most of you know, as of midnight early this morning, the dock workers, longshoremen, basically from all along the East Coast, from Maine to Texas, so Gulf Coast, East Coast, all went on strike. This is they're estimating is that about 50% of all the goods that move across this country will stop. Now, of course, some of the other ports will probably try to make up for it, but they can't take all of that burden. And so we're getting down to it. This, a lot of people are talking about this as the Black Swan event, the October surprise. A lot of things are being thrown out there, and it's possible that it's true. The president of the this union yesterday, very arrogantly, was saying that he had the power to shut this country down, and that's exactly what they were going to do, was to shut it all down. We will see how that happens and how much that happens. A lot of people are wondering how long this strike will last, and from everything that I've been reading, I mean, you never know these things, but it's always a gamble of trying to come up with an estimate. But most of the people that are, I guess, in the know of this kind of stuff are saying that this easily could last till the end of the year, which is very significant. I would highly suggest that if there's anything that you just know you need, like if you're going to do grocery shopping, your toilet paper, and we laugh at that, but it wouldn't hurt to stock up a little bit on it. Don't go crazy. Whatever the things are that you think you need to stock up on, I would go out and do that as soon as you can. If you're able to, I'd go out and do that as soon as you can. This also is going to greatly affect exports. The majority of the United States exports go out the eastern seaboard. And so who knows what kind of conflicts that could arise. Let's just play out a scenario. Let's say China bought X amount of corn, and they've paid for that corn, and now that corn is not able to be shipped. And China says, hey, we've got animals and people that are needing this corn desperately, and you need to send it to us. And they don't. And they say, well, then give us our money back. And of course, they don't do that. I mean, there's definitely scenarios there that could make this quite serious, and I don't even know that I need to emphasize so much the seriousness of this. I think it's somewhere around 45,000 workers, if you want some details, and they're walking away. Now, there's also a few other oddball things going on here. What if they decide to say, you know what, you union workers are too expensive. We're just, we've got all these tens of millions of illegals sitting around. Let's bring those in and do the work. Violence, definitely. Some of you are old enough to know and remember at times that crossing that picket line could, or being a scab for a strike can cause a lot of violence. There's also the possibility, because part of the reason that they're striking is that they want the companies to assure them in contract that they're not going to use automated workers, automated machines to replace them. And if these companies, if that's one of the reasons, the sticking points that they're not going to comply to, give in, this may be a good time for them to bring in those automated robots and machines and stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on with this. And I think, and I don't want to downplay, the hurricane and the flooding and stuff, and the overall, the totality of damage that's happened because of the hurricane. But I think that's taken a lot of focus, that, and then also what's going on in Israel. Because most of the time, I mean, if you can remember, last year before, there was suspected strikes, possible strikes of things, the major unions, and everyone was really paying a lot of attention to it. And then now we actually have one, a very critical area of the country has walked off their jobs, and there's not really a whole lot of talking about it. And I think it's just because there's so much stuff going on. But this is very, very serious. In fact, in the overall scheme and the overall, view of how things are going, maybe one of the biggest things that's happened in a while. And again, I don't want to downplay the death and destruction that the hurricane has caused, but I'm talking about affecting the entire nation for long term. This is huge. This is really, really huge, folks. And you need to be getting ready for this one. You should have already been. Folks, myself and others have been talking about it for a while, the possibility of it, and you should have probably been going out and stocking up. But if you haven't, I would certainly start doing that very quickly, like today. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, I don't have the money to just walk out and drop X amount of dollars to get all the stuff. And I understand that, I do. This is why I've been telling you for months and years to be stocking up. But I would do the best that you can. It's hard to say what exactly, because there's just so much when you're talking about that many different ports. But mostly just make sure you've got food, basic supplies of stuff that you normally need. Some toiletries, food, medical stuff. You should probably be stocking up on that, because this could start hurting real quick. Also, auto parts, anything that would come from Europe, any of that kind of stuff, anything that would come from that excuse me, that region, yeah, you probably should stock up on it. And I was reading something, they're expecting, auto parts to be one of the things that, even though not all of it comes from Europe, but still there's quite a bit does. So if your car has been needing a tune-up, or that it's going to need a tune-up or some kind of part replacement in the next few months, maintenance, you should probably go out and get it now, because there's no guarantee that it's going to happen. Now, we've all lived through shortages over the last few years. And those shortages were in large part due to just people, either panic buying or shutting businesses down because of COVID restrictions and stuff. But this is talking about major ports from Maine all the way around to Texas are basically going to be shut down. They're not going to be able to function. There's going to be boats setting places. They're going to be trying to reroute them. I mean, this is a big headache. And considering everything that's going on, a little over a month away from the election, stuff going on in the Middle East, the stuff going on in, the South here in the United States, illegals poured in. This is just, it's one more very large straw on the camel's back that's already broken down and about to fall over. So I'm not trying to insinuate that this is the big deal that's going to break us all, but it certainly is possible. And even if it doesn't completely collapse us, it's definitely big enough to cause great harm to us. So don't be ignoring this one or rolling your eyes on this one. This is a very serious event that's happening. So get stocked up. I mean, if we're fortunate, it may only last days or a couple of weeks, but how these things are. You got to prep for the worst of it. So get out there and get your houses in order, folks. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.